The LSU sex abuse scandal is back in the news this week after another lawsuit was filed against the university and more than a dozen of its officials. That's the topic of this week's commentary by Eyewitness News political analyst and Gambit columnist Clancy.
LSU's problems are just beginning to pile up in the wake of its massive failures to protect students against sexual abuse. The latest lawsuit accuses LSU and more than a dozen university officials of ignoring and then covering up students' allegations of sexual assault, rape, and domestic violence. Recently, LSU gave some of those administrators what amounts to a slap on the wrist. A recent independent review of allegations lodged against LSU concluded that the university violated federal laws and its own policies by failing to protect vulnerable female students. The record also shows that some LSU officials tried to keep this scandal under wraps. Now, those failures could cost LSU and some of its officials a lot.
This has been an expression of opinion by Clancy. Email your thoughts to commentary@wwltv.com.